Okay, now I'm going to start working on the sides of the guitar to get them, any rough bits, any unevenness out of it, ready for cutting the binding channel, because the router will trace along the sides, and it will, if it catches any uneven bits, it will cause irregular channel depth. So really what I want to do is get this curved all the way around. I don't want any flat spots or anything. So to sand it on the outside bits, I'm going to be using, it's a bit spring steel with 120 grit sandpaper glued to it, and I'm going to do that on there, and then we can just go holding them is the tricky bit. And I've not really worked out a way to do that well yet. This seems to be the most successful way I've got, but it's not ideal by any means. See that okay? There's a bit of a lip here where the router's not gone quite in when I trimmed it. It's not the easiest thing to do by any means. Bits need more than the other. It's going to need a lot more, and I'm not going to bother to film all the sanding as it will get a bit dull. But I want to be careful about sanding this bit where the neck goes on, because I'm going to have to do some work on that later, and the binding's not going to go all the way into that area, so because the neck will kind of cover there. So I'm just trying to get rid of any ridges that are on there. I'll come back to that lower bit in a bit, because I can't really use the spring steel on that very well. The other thing is, if you're doing this with your hand, there'd be a tendency for your hands to press in different places and you can put sand grooves into it, whereas this keeps it nice and flat. Okay, you can see there now, it's a bit raised there, but this isn't, there's no step or no edge around that area now. There's a bit of one there, there's a bit of one there. I'll come back to them, but it's all a lot smoother and there are all steps now. We haven't done much inside here now, it's the next thing, and I can't use that, but I've got another technique for that. Now, I think these have been described as rolling pin sanders and various names like that. You've got a pivoting spindle through the middle there and a sanding area here, and the drill drives it. Okay, that's probably quicker, but obviously if I was to do that around the outside, all I'd do is dig grooves into it. So anyway, that's a lot smoother. I might do a bit more on it, but I'll just check it all over. But you're seeing where I'm, what I'm doing with that, yeah, you can sand things forever if you're not careful. So now I need to get set up with the router. So we'll come back onto this one, set up with that. Okay. We're going to cut the binding channel now. I did do a bit more sanding on the edges afterwards, but you'd seen me doing that before. So I've set this up. This is the this is a router, and it can travel up and down. It's got a follower on it to follow around the edge, so we don't cut too far. I did a few tests to do it. I'll show you what the binding is. So this is the binding. It's maple. It's 6.5mm by 2.5, and we're going to cut 6mm by 2mm channel all the way round, and then this will go in. Purpose is, at the moment we've got end grain showing at the bottom here, which makes it very weak and it can get chipped. Maple's quite a hard wood, so it gives it a lot more robustness around the edge in terms of damage and things like that. So let's carry on and do that. So this jig, you can probably see, came from Radius Dish as well. It took me a bit to work out what it was. I wasn't quite sure, looking at the website, quite how it worked. I thought it might be you followed the thing around by hand, but no, you bolt it to there and it follows you. The jig it's on here is supported at 4 points, so I can get the sides vertical. So I've been adjusting it and basically going around with things, and I've got them as near vertical as I can, so that, because we're following the sides, if it wasn't vertical, you'd be cutting potentially deeper with the angles and things. So the other thing is, I think I have to do is follow the grain down, so I'll go down like that, similar way we did when we trimmed the sides, and similar here around there, so as I'm not cutting up into the grain. I think I'm ready to make a start, so here we go. This is one of the most nerve-wracking points of it, because if this goes wrong, you've absolutely destroyed it and you have to start again. So hopefully this all works okay. think that's almost perfect. Well, the bits, this board's sticking a bit, it's catching on things on the bench a bit, but okay. Okay, that's not so bad. It's gone a little bit deeper there, but I've got some excess on the top there, I think, so I'm not quite sure why that happened, maybe when it was rocking. Now it's sort of flip it over and we've got to do the other side, so we'll have to... It's alright, that's better. Okay. Okay, a few problems with it getting caught on things then, but now we've got them channels cut. The next thing will be to get the bindings bent. I think I'll leave that till tomorrow now. It's clean up the dust here, and then glued on. Okay, I'm just waiting for the iron to warm up. What I'm going to try and do is do all these in one go, and we'll sort of tape them together. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Should be right. Yeah. Just want the centre of there, which is the biggest curve. Now I'm not going to soak this in water like I did before. I'm just going to spray it because partly the tape will come off. Partly it should bend easier. It's moving, bump on that. I need a pair of gloves. Oh, it's bending, but it's... Okay, so we'll work up on this bit now. Relaxed a bit. Well, I'm getting the guitar work, which isn't a good thing. Yeah, it's just relaxed there again. Okay, I think that's pretty much there. Right, I think that's it for today. Or well, for this, I'm just going to wait for everything to dry out a little bit. That's going to cool down. I'll try not to burn myself this time on it, and hopefully that will hold its shape in there, and if it's all dried later I'll come and glue it all together. Okay, it's all dried off now, so we're going to start gluing this up. There's no easy way to clamp this, so what we do use is called binding tape, which is a high adhesion and high strength tape. I built a dispenser and I've put a hacksaw blade over there to cut it, but it doesn't be cutting very well. So I'm going to start from the middle bit here, because I think that's going to be the hardest part to match up, and it needs to be lined up where they've got the curves in the my hand's got a big thing. Blade to spread this. Squeezing out here so I can clean it up afterwards. Right, first bit of tape. thing with this tape is kind of get it stuck down there, pull to stretch it, pull it down over the binding and then down onto there. Oh, it's not. And the end there so they can stop it peeling. Okay, now I'll need to trim that up before I can do the other side, so I think I'm going to do this in stages. And I probably won't film all the stages because it's a repeat 3 times, well 3 more times, because we've got that side to do and the other 2 sides under here. In the meantime, I've left the bent binding in the mould to keep its shape. Okay, I'm just taking the tape off the last binding now. Okay, the binding's all on now, as you can see. The tape there needs to come off. And that's really the last job on the body itself that we can do now. The only 2 things remaining, apart from a lot of sanding on it, is joint for the neck and the bridge plate here. But that's kind of really it for this. So I think we'll be putting this to one side and starting to work on the neck. But before we do that, let's have a look at how, because obviously this was my first attempt, and I didn't expect it to go completely right, and it hasn't really. There's a few problems. So first thing to notice is, although the front lines up where the joint is, with the joint there, the back doesn't. It's off by about 1/4 of an inch. Now I thought my templates were accurate enough to make sure that wouldn't happen. You see that there? But obviously I need to check my templates for that. One or two places, when I routed it, it's gone deeper than it should have done. If I can find particularly here where it's gone deeper. Now I think I worked back what happened there. When I was routing, sawdust started to build up underneath the support for the body, and it was lifting it, and it was routing deeper. So I must be careful about that and sort out some better, some active dust protection to remove the chips. There's a slight problem here on the rosette that I'm doing it, which is irritating but not functional. And one of the pockets coming through the side, if I can find it, one of the pockets there, when out for the braces to come through the side, I cut too deep, so I've had to put in a bit of mahogany there to cover the hole. Most of the rest of it, I finished a gap here when I was doing that. I don't know what's caused that, so I'll think about that. But most of this I should be able to sort out with a little bit of filling. So yeah, it's kind of looking like a guitar body, and it's got some sound to it now. So I'll carry on next with the neck. The fact it's not cosmetically perfect is what I always expected with this first one, but it's very much a learning exercise, so I'll carry on with that. I think at the end of it will produce a functional guitar, and it'll be something I can just use in the garden or something and not worry too much about. So what's coming next? Well, the neck is a couple of bits of mahogany yet and no shape to it, so it's all going to be glued together, and then we'll start to shape it. I've also got to do the fretboard. Now I've started on the fretboard fret cutting jig, in that I built a template for this scale of guitar. I now need to build a mitre block, and it might be, and I'm a bit unsure where to go next, whether I do the mitre block, cut the frets on the fretboard, and then do the neck, or start on the main part of the neck. Kind of one feeds off the other. I'm not quite sure which is the best way, so I'll have a think about that for the next few days. And I'm not quite sure what the next video will be. I could either do the video, I videoed making the fret template, so I could run that video next week, and I'll do one when I build the mitre block as well. That won't be in the guitar build series, it'll be in the jigs and tools series. Or I could we could actually build up the neck and start getting that to shape, because there's a scarf joint for the headstock and there's a block to build on, so we're going to assemble that and glue it. I've got some details to work out. I've done drawings for that, but I need to kind of remind myself my concentration has been very much on the body and what's been coming forward on that. So but all in all, I think I've done relatively well. There was another mistake when the back strap, this bit here, the reinforcement that joins the two backs inside, I left that too long when I glued it, and I had to kind of fix that as well. So I've made notes of all these to be more careful next time. Some of the things I think have come about because I've been occasionally rushing a bit too much to get something done for the video to achieve my video schedule, so that's put a bit of pressure on me that I didn't really anticipate, because I wasn't really planning to video at all when I started, and so yeah, that's definitely affected it a bit, but not massively. So Oh, the other thing I'm going to show you is these never joined up here, but they were never meant to. That entire area is where the neck joins on, so we'll be cutting a tenon in there, and the neck itself will fill over that part and come all the way to the back, so that's not going to be an issue at all, although I might have a gap there that I need to sort out. I don't know. We can deal with that later. It might be another thing I've got slightly wrong, but I think that's it for now.